Hi everybody, thank you for tuning in. This is Julia M. Spencer again. I'm driving to look at my tax sale foreclosures for next week. I'm actually going to 2 auctions next week, one here in Chatham County in Savannah and one in Nevada, in Clark County, Nevada. I'm going with another investor. It's going to be really cool. I'm excited because I've never bid on anything out there, so it's my first time. Been in Las Vegas lots of times, but that's going to be really cool. So, but just because we're going to a far away cool auction, we're still going to survey the homeland, and so I'm on the way to look at properties here. I have a list. Actually, today is Wednesday, and observed a really cool device I got on Amazon for like $7 to hold my camera up, so no more camera accidents. Yay! I know a lot of you have complained about my camera falling over as many times as it did, and so I got this little spiffy device that sticks to my window, and I can speak and nothing will be shaking, and you know, I'm getting better at being my own camera woman, I guess. Have a little bit of a cold, so bear with me. I have to probably blow my nose here in a minute and cough. But all is well. I have my water bottle. So let's explore the area today. And while we're driving, oh, by the way, the house that we're driving to, tax assessors appraised it at $61,000. It says that it has 6 bedrooms, so I'm presuming it's a duplex. It's a little bit over 2,000 square feet. I don't know the starting bid price yet. Won't find that out till Friday. But I'm actually being preemptively looking at properties this month because I'm always usually late to do that. And I have some time today, so I want to show you this one because this one looks pretty good. So we'll see. I have it put into my GPS of my car and driving. Of course, I'm driving the wrong car, but I'm not planning to go into any extraordinary neighborhoods where I shouldn't be. I'll save that for my other car. For those of you that first time watched this video, I got, the police called on me several times in the past because I'm driving a really nice car, and I shouldn't be driving a nice car when I stand out and very obviously don't belong in the neighborhood. And so I've learned my lesson to drive my old Toyota to those neighborhoods. But today I'm driving the wrong car because I'm just going to this one house, and it doesn't, it looks kind of like off the main road, so it's not that big of a deal. Go look at it and observe it, and I'm going to pan around and show you. So this won't be like a super long video or anything. But while we're driving, we have 3 more miles to go. While we're driving, I want to address a couple of questions I had on my YouTube channel and actually messages you send me, which, by the way, I really appreciate. Thank you so much for sending me these messages. I use the questions that you have for my audiobooks because, I can answer you, of course, individually, but a lot of people want to have the information. So what I do, when you send me a question, I usually answer you individually. I make a short video, and then I incorporate the answer in one of my audiobooks that I'm working on, usually working on several at the same time. So I actually lost my voice last week, so I couldn't record anything. But anyways, let's get to the question. There was a person in New York State that asked me, they really wanted to get this property in their neighborhood, and they were confused about who owned it. Apparently, the property was going for a tax auction. As you know, in New York State, there's a deed state. There's no over-the-counter sales. And the person wanted to get this property, but they could get about $15,000 together, and to go to the owners and just have them pay their own taxes with that money if they could secure getting the actual property from them. This is New York City, actually. This is not just New York State. And but they were confused because the 2 owners on the actual current deed are both deceased. The heirs both got, there were several heirs, I guess, involved, and one of the heirs, as I understood, and you can correct me if you're watching this, the person that asked me that question, one of the heirs has declined their inheritance, which you can do if you inherit, property or, other people's stuff and you don't want it, you can decline it. and then automatically the property goes to the other heirs that are remaining. So, and I'm sitting at a red light, so opportunity for some water real quick. So my answer to this person was, when you're involved in a really sticky situation like that, where you just don't know where to go in terms of who owns it, you can't get a hold of the owners, the heirs are sort of kind of missing, they're dead and their heirs are missing, and it's just this convoluted mess of ownership of who owns a property. I mean, should you really go into that kind of sale and purchase that property? The person mentioned to me that they can probably come up with maybe $15,000 to pay off the taxes and keep talking to the owners, or they can they can just let it go to the auction. But at the auction, they believe that they would not be able to compete with the other bidders and not get the property because the price would be just too high. So I mean, my recommendation, and by the way, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an attorney, I can't give you advice really on legal stuff. That's I am not qualified to do that. I can just tell you what I would do if I was the investor in your shoes. Quite honestly, my first instinct would be to stay away from that property. If you can't get the original owners, I mean, you certainly don't want to give $15,000 to somebody to pay off their taxes, and you have no guarantee whatsoever if you're going to get the property after that. Now, if you can pay off their taxes and actually get it assigned and delivered and recorded at the courthouse, quit-claim deed from the previous owners, then then that would be a good idea, because then you would actually have a right to the property. But without that, you won't just pay anybody's taxes just to get it off the auction. It's probably just better to just wait for the auction to happen and you to purchase the property at the auction. Now, look, it sounds to me like this person is not, this listener is not able to find the owners, so then in that case, there's just too many ifs. I'm kind of playing these things on the safe side. I don't want to, if I were to put $15,000, there's just easier money to be made with $15,000 than dumping it all into one house that you may or may not get. So that's my recommendation to that person. And that's pretty much all I have to say to that question. But of course, if there's a follow-on question from that particular listener, I'll be glad to answer that as well. I had another question from another subscriber, and we're 1.9 miles away, so not that much further. Another subscriber asked me, they've had a really hard time getting leads for properties to buy, and they had a hard time getting financing. And their question was, what makes me look better in the eyes of a bank so I can get better financing or faster, more financing to purchase these properties that I want to purchase and flip? I'm just not having a really good time with that and not really having much success. So my answer to that is banks want to see income. They want to see that you're actually making money. Now, even for me, it's actually really difficult to show a bank that I'm making money, because I have all these deductions that I can take, and all this real estate that I own, depreciation, expenses for my vacation rental business that are business expenses, travel expenses, because I go places to record these videos that you're watching. So my taxable income is very low. Even though I earn a lot of money, my taxable income is extremely low. And so the banks just look at the bottom line, at the gross adjusted income, which is the bottom line number, which basically subtracts your expenses from your income. And that's what they go on to establish whether or not you fall anywhere in the range of where they would finance you. So you have not just your credit score, you also have what somebody gave me a thumbs up, so thank you for that. So you have your credit score. You need to worry about if you're using your personal credit. Obviously, it's better to use a business name. But you also have to worry about showing income. So what I recommended to this person is, honestly, and I've done this before, just just get a job. Get a job for a short amount of time so you can show that you actually get in the pay stub. Banks really like that. Underwriters really like that. They're happy with people with jobs. Self-employed people, they don't really like that. They can't really get their hands on it because they're not really sure what actually this person is making. And or else just, you know, don't deduct all the expenses that you have so you can show taxable income. The one thing that you do need to understand is that if you show taxable income, and you can do that by basically just not taking all the deductions that you're supposed to get, then throughout the year you have to pay more taxes. So you pay more taxes so you can get a loan to pay somebody interest. And that's kind of self-defeating because you're paying like in two areas. You can also just do what I do and take all the deductions that you can possibly can, have a very low gross adjusted income, and not be able to get financing by banks in the regular conventional way, but more aim for owner financing, buying really cheap tax sale foreclosures, wholesaling them, using that money to keep the pipeline going and buying more of those, or using that money to get hard money loans from individual investors and things like that. Just alternative methods of getting financing. The banking system is very rigid, it's very bureaucratic, especially when it comes to the mortgage area. So mortgages are just really hard to get for real estate investors unless you already have a lot of money and you have a job, or you have like a huge portfolio, you have tons of money sitting in your bank, then banks will give you whatever you want. So that's the answer to that question. And keep the questions going. I get lots of them, so I love them. I think I missed the turn, so we're turning here. And we are about 0.3 miles away from this property. The highlight of this particular video, and almost ran a person over, not very good. But we are going now. And I hope you can hear me okay. My sheet just fell down. Not the shape that I wanted. Okay. Alright, so we are on this street, and the street's name is Bolton Street, I'm guessing. East Bolton Street. Okay. So, as I said before, usually what I do look at for these houses is whether they have a good roof, whether they're vacant or not, if they have abatement signs on them or unsafe for living signs, things like that. I expect all of that stuff. Actually, the first thing is to see if there's actually a house on the property. And here it is, it's right in front of me. So guess what? There's a parking lot. I'm going to park right there, and I'm going to pan over to the side. And it looks like a really good deal, actually. So I'm excited. This is what I live for. This is exciting. Beats working in a 8-to-5 job any day. Of course, you love your job. If you love your job, I don't want to, you know, make that look bad. I loved all my jobs I've been on, mostly. Anyways, so I'm gonna take this camera out of this hook here, and I'm gonna turn it around. Sound is gonna be a little bit different because my microphone is on the other side. But here's the house. You can see it is a duplex, and I'm so glad there's a parking lot here. But as you can see, this particular house right here is going to be auctioned off next month. 2,064 square feet. It's a duplex. It is let's make this smaller. It's tax assessors has appraised it at $61,500. That's not going to be the selling price. I'm presuming the selling price is going to be under $5,000. In Georgia, it is a tax lien state. We have a 1-year redemption period after that purchase. So the area looks pretty decent to me. I'm going to pan around a little bit. It looks like I'm in the parking lot of a daycare, sort of like a daycare center, I guess, over there. And a law center. And I am positively pleased with this find. I'm going to put this on my yes list. Probably have people competing against me. But if you can see, what I'm looking at is the roof looks good. Looks like it's lived in. There's garbage cans. Outside is cleaned up. And likely too, this kind of property, and I'm going to, very likely this kind of property will, hi to Macon by the way, likely this property will probably redeem, I'm thinking, and because usually the better properties that are actually really worth a lot and don't look like they're deserted or have any issues with them that would lead people to just dump them. People somehow scrape together the money, if not at the sale, then later on. So I'm gonna drive around and just go around that property, and then I will finish this video because it is lunchtime and I'm hungry. So, but join me again, I guess, the next time I do one of these research things. Property again, not that one. This one right here, as you can see, is a nice place. And there's people standing on the porch over there watching me. I'm in the wrong car, as you know. And it's a pretty big property, as you can see. And it looks, actually, it looks vacant on this side. So, we are holding up any further traffic. Alright, so, actually, let's just keep it rolling just for a few more minutes until I can figure out where I'm going here. That way I can answer one more question and actually make a comment. I actually am dealing with, I would call this person a general contractor, a wannabe general contractor, who's actually turned a little bit into a bully. And I want to tell you guys how to deal with that if you're ever faced with that. Person was supposed to redo a bathroom in one of my properties, started the job, we had a contract and everything, and halfway through the job we discovered that the floor is slanted, which we kind of anticipated because it's an old house, so it was an easy quick fix for that. A couple $100, go underneath the house and just kind of joist it up so the floor is even, and then continue the work, because you can't obviously put like a bathtub and a toilet and all this heavy stuff into a bathroom when the floor is slanted. And we communicated that to him. We told him that was part of the job, you know, he had to factor that in when he initially priced the stuff, and it wasn't a big deal, I thought. But apparently this contractor is now harassing me because he wants additional money to fix the floor. And I mean, seriously harassing me. He's actually threatened with court action if I didn't pay him. He called me names, he called my assistant names. I mean, he really became this bully. I mean, this, honestly, this just this bully. So, basically, you know, he threatened us. So, the way to deal with that kind of person is, first off, don't lose your cool. I had to learn that lesson really, really the hard way because, you know, it actually is something that is useful for all areas in your life, not to lose the cool, and it's very hard sometimes. But I, you know, basically sent him a very professional message. Again, told him to stop contacting me. I told him 3 times. He keeps texting me, so I think at this point, if he wants to take me to court, that's fine. I never fired him off the job. I basically said, look, you're going to charge me extra to fix this floor. I'm going to get another person to come in, give me a second evaluation, and I'm going to pay that other person to fix the floor. And then, after all of that is done, then you can come back and finish the job that we're in contract to do. And I'm not obligated to use you for any additional work, nor am I obligated to continue talking to you. This is a professional business deal. It's nothing personal. And he goes on about how I'm taking money from his kids, and you're supposed to have the job done already, and blah, blah, blah. And the 3rd time I told him I don't want any more contact until we have this floor fixed, and somebody else is going to fix it. So today he's asking me for a ladder he left at the house. I have a security system at the house, so you can't go there unannounced or uninvited. But with bullies like that, just to summarize, is if they threaten you with court action, if they threaten, actually ignore just everything they say. Insults, attacks, any kind of attempt to manipulate or anything like, just ignore all of that. Tell them you don't want any further contract. Tell them exactly what you're going to do. And if they still threaten you with court action, then so be it. That's what's the worst thing that can happen, is that the court awards them the $1,000 that they owed. They probably spent about half of that on a lawyer, and it's not worth it for them to take me to court. But if they really want to do that, then so be it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't even worry about it. I actually just put it out of my head, and can't figure out how to block somebody on my Fire phone, so otherwise I would have blocked them. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff you have to deal with. And hopefully my regular contractor that I've known for 10 years or so is better soon, so he can finish the job for me, because I'm not using this guy to do it. So with that, I remain forever yours, Julia M. Spencer. And hopefully you can go to my website and subscribe to my newsletter there. The website's juliamspencer.com. Check out my audiobooks. I'm working on a brand new audiobook on tax sale foreclosures, which will expand on all these questions that you've had. And send me more questions, because that's what makes my books better, and I'll answer them. And hopefully I can hear your success stories very soon. I really look forward to help you succeed and find out how my advice has helped you. And have a great day, and enjoy the rest of your week. Julia M. Spencer.
For your free guide to real estate investing, visit juliamspencer.com.